Yeah. Is my voice okay? Clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we can begin now. Om Agyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरू श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौरी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरम्. So we are discussing this book. It's called Upadeshamrita, which was written by Srila Rupa Goswami. Um, Actually, we had a discussion Rupa Goswami earlier on Tuesday, but I will just speak 5 minutes about Rupa Goswami. He was an associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, appeared in Bengal in a village called Ramakeli. Since his childhood, they were born in Saraswat Brahman family, but by force by the Muslim ruler, they were forced to work for him. So they were in a like the work that this Muslim Qazi Nawab they would do was robbing, thievery, and defeating, killing, many such things, and they were forced to assist him. Um, since childhood, they used to read Srimad Bhagavatam, chant the holy names of Krishna. They made their own home into Vrindavan, and they were feeling working for that Kazi as a jail. And they had this great, intense desire to um, just engage in devotional service. They heard about the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they were convinced that uh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Sri Krishna, who has come to spread the glories of the holy name and to mm, deliver everybody and take them to the spiritual world. So they wanted to take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They wrote many letters to Lord Chaitanya, but there was no reply. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, Mahaprabhu had a great desire to visit Vrindavan. So on the way to Vrindavan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Ramkeli, and there was the first meeting after Mahaprabhu took sannyas. There was this first meeting of Lord Chaitanya with Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. They both took a very humble position, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recognized, and Mahaprabhu said, "Yes, I have received many letters from you." And Mahaprabhu said, "Actually, I had no business coming to Ramakeli, but the only reason I came to this place is just for the sake of both of you." Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that very soon, be patient, very soon you both will be able to engage in the service of Lord Krishna. Then Mahaprabhu they both took a very humble position. They put a blade of grass in their mouth, falling down, clamped the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to their heart. And they were begging Lord Chaitanya to please deliver them from this material existence. And they were saying that we are, our work is very degraded and our consciousness is very degraded. Our activities, everything about us is very niche. You are Patita Pavana. You have come to deliver all the fallen souls. Where will you find somebody more fallen than me? And they compared themselves with Jagai and Madhai. Jagai and Madhai were very degraded souls from Navadvip. And they said Jagai and Madhai were very, very qualified because they were Brahmanas and they were born in Navadvip, in the same place where you appeared. So they are great personalities. So delivering them is the show of mercy. But the greater show of mercy is you can deliver us brothers. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much um, affected by their humility. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Don't speak like this, oh Rup and Sanatan. Your humility is breaking my heart." And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested, and Rup and Sanatan Goswami, this is the first time they met Nityananda Prabhu, met Haridas Thakur, and so many associates of Lord Chaitanya were there. Ramananda Roy was there. All the associates were there. Swarup Damodar Goswami were there. Um, then Mahaprabhu left. And then later on, Rupa Goswami sent a letter after a few months to Jagannath Puri through a messenger asking the whereabouts of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then the messenger came back with the news that Lord Chaitanya has already left for Vrindavan. So when Mahaprabhu went to Ramkeli, Mahaprabhu did not go to Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu actually went back. And then he stayed for few months, more than over a year. Mahaprabhu stayed um, again in Puri, and then through the uh, jungle path, forest path, through the forest of Jarikhanda, and not through the main roads. Then Mahaprabhu again took a tour and he went to Vrindavan. So when the messenger came back with the news that Mahaprabhu has already left for Vrindavan, then Rup Goswami, along with his brother Anupam, then they decided that they want to go to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Later on, then Sanatana Goswami also joined and met Lord Chaitanya later on. So then he finished his Vrindavan tour, and Mahaprabhu was coming back to go to Jagannath Puri. And then Rupa Goswami went to Allahabad, and there at Prayag Ghat, there is a meeting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu um, with Rupa Goswami. And there, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to Rupa Goswami about truth of Krishna consciousness. This comes in Madhya Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's called Rupa Siksha. And then Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami, he gave him few instructions. Mahaprabhu told him that you should write books and establish Bhakti Tattva. Mahaprabhu spoke Bhakti Tattva and he empowered Rupa Goswami to establish it by Siddhanta. And then Mahaprabhu also told Rupa Goswami that you go to Vrindavan and stay there. And during the time of Lord Chaitanya, Vrindavan became uncovered. All the holy places that were there 5,000 years ago, when Lord Krishna was personally present, became covered. So Mahaprabhu wanted Vrindavan to come back to its original glories. So that time there were hardly any temples in Vrindavan, very few. But by the mercy of these six Goswamis, whose leader was Rupa Goswami, by the mercy of these six Goswamis, now today, just within 500 years, Vrindavan has over 5,000 temples. But actually, Mahaprabhu came to revive the glories of Vrindavan and how to surrender to Krishna. As Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, you abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me. But Lord Krishna did not show by his own example what does it mean to surrender to Krishna and what kind of activities the surrender to Krishna includes and what is pleasing to Krishna. So Sri Krishna did not show by his own example. So Sri Krishna came himself as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to set an example of how to advance in our Krishna consciousness. So then Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami, you go and excavate Vrindavan. Um, you write books that establish Vaishnava Siddhanta. Um, also, there were some deities which were carved by Krishna's grandson, whose name was Vajranath. Um, and those deities were missing. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also requested Rupa Goswami that they are in Vrindavan somewhere. You help to find these and begin the leaving back to Puri. And he also told Rupa Goswami that come and see me in Puri. So then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Puri. Then Rupa Goswami, he made a visit to Jagannath Puri. And a lot of Mahaprabhu's, Rupa Goswami stayed under a Bakula tree, Siddha Bakula tree. And he was a roommate of Haridas Thakur, who was Namacharya. And Rupa Goswami humility is the epitome. Although he was born in a Brahman family, because he worked for a Malecha or a tyrant ruler, Muslim ruler, um, Rupa Goswami thought himself as belonging to one of their caste. And since only Hindus are allowed in Jagannath Puri Mandir, he, although born in Brahmana family, would consider himself as low caste or degraded. So he never entered Jagannath Mandir. Rather, he would see Lord Jagannath only when Jagannath would come out um, on the Rath Yatra occasion. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in Puri. There is a room called Gambhira where Mahaprabhu would reside. And under very close by 10 minutes from that room where Mahaprabhu would stay, is there a small bhajan kuti uh, under a Siddha Bakula tree. That tree is still there where Haridas Thakur would do his bhajan. And that's where Rupa Goswami was staying with Haridas Thakur. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would perform his noon services at Jagannath Mandir. And then he would come to meet and bring prasad for Haridas Thakur and Rupa Goswami. And there are certain instances where in one instance it was a Rath Yatra and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in the mood of Srimati Radharani. There is a description when first Lord Krishna, he left Vrindavan when Lord Krishna was 10.5 years around. And then after many decades, there is a meeting of Lord Krishna with Brajvasis in Kurukshetra. So that time, Nanda Baba and the cowherd boys and cowherd girls and Srimati Radharani and everybody went to Kurukshetra to meet Lord Krishna again. So there is a description in Bhagavatam of a meeting between Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani mentioned there that you are the same Krishna and I am the same your Radha. Um, um, it's the same kadamba flowers. It's the nice cooling breeze filled with um, the smell of lotuses. but I don't still feel the same. Because there is no Yamuna, there is no Vrindavan, there is no Govardhan, and that mood is not there. Because Krishna was dressed like a king, and I don't get the same feeling. So Srimati Radharani there urged Krishna to please come to Vrindavan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was pulling the rath, he was in the same mood of taking Jagannath to Vrindavan, in the mood of Radharani, that it's not the same. So Mahaprabhu was singing these songs, um, which seems like a song between a boy and a girl, but they were having a transcendental nature, the mood of Srimati Radharani. So Rupa Goswami understood the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he wrote a verse that composed the inner feelings of Lord Chaitanya. And Rupa Goswami was staying in this hatched hut with Haridas Thakur, and it is very close to the ocean. There is an ocean there. It's on the shore. So Rupa Goswami placed that verse that he wrote on, hatched hoof is like these bamboos. So he stuck it there under the bamboo, and he went to take his bath in the ocean. This is noon time, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought some prasad, and Rupa Goswami had gone. So he saw a paper. Mahaprabhu took the paper and he read. And Mahaprabhu did not share about his mood in Rath Yatra with anybody. But when he saw the paper, Mahaprabhu was very much surprised. And Mahaprabhu was thinking that Sri Rupa understand my heart completely. How is that possible? So that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also called Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar is very intimate associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who exactly understands everything, well, exactly understands the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Swarup Damodar is also Lalita Sakhi in Krishna Leela. So then Mahaprabhu asked Swarup Damodar Goswami that, Swarup, see this letter written by Sri Rupa. And Swarup Damodar Goswami, he read the letter and he was surprised. This poem, this verse that Rupa Goswami composed. And Swarup Damodar Goswami told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my Lord, this is not possible for anybody to understand your heart unless that personality has received your mercy. Yes. So, Swarup Damodar Goswami told Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my Lord, this is not possible. You must have given your mercy. Without your mercy, how can somebody have access to your heart? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said yes. When the first time I met Rupa and Sanatana Goswami in Ramkeli, I gave my full mercy. That's why when we offer pranam mantras, we say Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tatati Swapadantikam. That Shri Rupa Goswami, who fully understands the heart of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he established Krishna consciousness, which was the desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this verse says, when will I receive the shelter under his lotus feet? So then, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu earlier gave this instruction to Rupa Goswami to write books, Rupa Goswami would spend most of his time writing books. And there is also a verse written by Srinivas Acharya. Nana Shastra Vicharinay Kanipuno Ya Dharma Samsthapako. Which says that Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, it is description of them, that they would read Nana Shastra Vicharinay Kanipuno, that they would read so many different kind of scriptures. And with the vision, ye dharma samsthapako, and they were given the instruction by Lord Chaitanya to establish dharma based on teachings of Lord Chaitanya. But Mahaprabhu came and spoke, and he gave Goswamis the instructions. They read all the scriptures, and they confirmed the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the scriptures. Because, like Srila Prabhupada says, scriptures are the basis. So Rupa Goswami was writing books after doing lot of research on all the Vedic scriptures. And Mahaprabhu was very impressed by that him actually understanding the heart of Lord Chaitanya. It is actually mentioned that thank you, Bas, thank you. It is actually mentioned. Uh, Anyways, lost the chain of thought. So then, Rupa Goswami, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he called Ramananda Roy, Sarva Bhattacharya, Advaita Acharya, and many of the close associates. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to glorify Rupa Goswami. So he told to Rupa Goswami that read some verses that you have written in your book, in your books. Then Rupa Goswami wrote the glorification of holy name, the glorification of Vrindavan, about his Ishtade, which is Lord Chaitanya himself, the glorification of Lord Chaitanya, about the mood of Srimati Radharani, Shri Krishna, the bhav they have, and various things. Rupa Goswami, one by one, Ramananda Roy was questioning Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami would read verses that he has written. And Ramananda Roy was very much surprised. And everybody who were hearing, they were very much shocked. They were mentioning that such description of the holy name of Lord Chaitanya, such description of the dham, the bhav, the rasa, such the tattva, such description we have never heard. So the reason I mention all these things is because the writings of Sri Rupa Goswami were personally approved by Lord Chaitanya and were personally approved by all the associates of Lord Chaitanya. So what we are hearing now, what we are going to read, these are already heard by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all the associates were so greatly pleased by hearing what Rupa Goswami wrote. So with full blessings, then Rupa Goswami went back to Vrindavan and then spent over 50 years writing more and more books. Rupa Goswami is mentioned in Gaur Ganodesha Deepika. There is a book, it is mentioned Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari. So Srimati Radharani served in spiritual world by, Srimati Radharani is around 14 years, and she is served by um, younger servants, younger girls. They are around 11 years, and they are called by the name Manjaris. Uh, um, and and the leader of all those Manjari is actually Rupa Manjari. So basically, the closest associate or most confidential associate of Radha and Krishna is Rupa Manjari. And in order to assist Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is actually in the mood of Radharani, Rupa Manjari descended as Rupa Goswami. So those were not like appeared as conditioned souls and they practice and they attain perfection, but they are the associates of the spiritual world who descended to assist Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu establish Krishna consciousness. So we are the Gaudiya Vaishnavas are also called Rupa Nugas. Rupa Nugas means followers of Rupa Goswami. Anuga means follower. And Srila Prabhupada also mentions in an introduction to Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada says the entire Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the guidance of Srila Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami wrote many books, but two of the books that were translated by Srila Prabhupada, one is Nectar of Instruction and one is Nectar of Devotion. And these books are such important books that for anybody to get Brahman initiated. Brahman, what is Brahman? Why Bhakti Shastri course? Bhakti Shastri. Shastra means, हम लोग बोलते हैं शास्त्री जी और विद्वान. So Bhakti Shastri, Vidwan basically means knowledgeable. So Bhakti Shastri means one who is knowledgeable in Bhakti Tattva, one who understand, one who can explain. This course is a must for those who want to preach Krishna consciousness. This contains the depth of Krishna consciousness, these books. And our ISKCON Global Body Commissioner, GBC, and the whole leadership, they have mandate or they have made these books compulsory and exams on this book compulsory for anybody who want to become a Shastri, a Bhakti Shastri, who want to be claimed as a knowledge of Bhakti scriptures, understanding of Bhakti, then these books are must. Brahman basically means what is the quality of Brahmana? Brahmana means study, and Brahmana also means speaking. So naturally, as devotees, we are always um, eager for like devotional service, outreach activities, and we are engaged in various ways. But it is also equally important to equip ourselves and nourish ourselves with the actual understanding. So Srila Prabhupada actually wanted to translate so many books of all the acharyas and Goswamis, but Prabhupada did not have enough time. Srila Prabhupada could not even complete Srimad Bhagavatam. He left the body when he was in 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. But Srila Prabhupada made it a priority to himself translate these two books of Rupa Goswami. They are the guidebooks. Anybody who want to progress in their spiritual life, what will happen where, how the progress will happen, where we lie in our bhakti path, the actual depth of the understanding comes from these two books. We are called Rupa Nugas because Rupa Goswami has actually given us a roadmap of what happens on the way of bhakti. What all things are favorable, what are things are not favorable, things to do, things not to do. All the core instructions that we need in order to progress in our spiritual life is in these two books actually. Um, this one book is Upadesh Amrita. Amrita means nectar. Upadesh means Amrit means nectar, and Upadesh means instruction. So Prabhupada um, uh, summary of Upadesh Amrita with purports is called Nectar of Instruction. Another book by Rupa Goswami is called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which was translated, and summary study of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami is Srila Prabhupada's summary study on that book is called Nectar of Devotion. They are very important books. There is nothing that we are left to be known if we can deeply understand the subject matter of these two books, and you will relish these two books throughout your life. That much instructive they are. Okay, are there any questions at this point of time or this?
So, Prabhuji, Nectar of Instruction, is it just the summary of Updesa Mitra, or is there another book called?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So Nectar of Instruction is a book, Srila Prabhupada, like there are 11 verses, Prabhu. 11 instructions given by Rupa Goswami on advancement on bhakti. Main summary Rupa Goswami wrote in just 11 verses. And these verses, they are instructions, and these instructions are nectarian. So these 11 verses together combined, Rupa Goswami called it Upadeshamrita. And then Srila Prabhupada took each and all the 11 verses, gave an English translation, and an inner depth of how to understand those instructions and how do we follow those instructions based on the teachings of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and previous acharyas. So summarized all the acharyas, like Rupa Goswami is like the leader of everybody in Gaudiya Vaishnava. He wrote 11 instruction, and there is commentary on those by Jiva Goswami, who was his only disciple, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And so Srila Prabhupada took the explanation from all, combined them, and gave us in through his purports. So we have a inner in-depth understanding of these 11 instructions. That is nectar of instruction.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
है ना? But Srila Prabhupada, because of time constraint, Nectar of Devotion has many verses, hundreds of verses, many hundreds of verses, Nectar of Devotion. So Srila Prabhupada did not give a verse by verse um, translation of all the verses basically. But um, Nectar of Instruction is in depth, and Nectar of Devotion is also in depth, but it is written in the form of chapters. It is written like a summary. But everything Srila Prabhupada that is there in those verses, everything Prabhupada covered in his book, but he wrote it in a chapter wise instead of verses wise. That's the only difference. Okay. Any other question? Any other discussion? All right. So that was a basic introduction about Rupa Goswami, importance of Rupa Goswami, the books, and how these books are authentic, how they are coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings and approved by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, um, and how Srila Prabhupada translated them. This was basic introduction. Now we'll see here, as I described, this book has 11 instructions, and it is described this path of bhakti. It goes from Shraddha to Prema. So there is Shraddha, which is faith, then there is Sadhu Sangha. As you see, Sadhu Sangha is association of devotees. Then in devotee association, we perform Bhajana Kriya, which is we perform our like hearing, chanting. And as we perform bhajan, then anarthas goes away. Once anarthas goes away, one become established or fixed in devotional service. And the more one become fixed, that is stage of nishtha. Nishtha means becoming fixed in devotional service. And as one become fixed in devotional service, then one start relishing Krishna consciousness. That is the stage of ruchi. And as one come to the stage of relishing Krishna consciousness, then one become attached to Krishna. And at the stage of ashakti is the transition happened where we are more attached to Krishna than the holy name. Before that, our we are more attached to holy name. We just want to absorb in the holy name. But Krishna is like Krishna is a real personality, but we don't feel any personal relationship or any personal connection with Krishna or any personal bhav for Krishna or any personal attachment to Krishna. But we relish Krishna consciousness through holy name, through kirtan, through association. Asakti means attachment. Attachment means the stage of asakti is when we actually become attached to the personality of Krishna. Like we just start loving Krishna. Um, and then after asakti, there is bhav. And now we start exhibiting some symptoms of love. And we become ecstatic just by thinking of Krishna, anything. Those are bhav, emotions. We start exhibiting emotions for Krishna. And like attachment is initial stage, and emotions for Krishna, like like just like the mother is so emotionally attached um, um, to the children and maybe to the spouse or parents or how. So likewise, one start having this strong emotional attachment to the personality of Krishna. In the beginning stage, it is mentioned one should develop bhav for devotees, loving relationship with devotees. That is possible for us. But at an advanced stage, those things will manifest for Sri Krishna also. Right now, Sri Krishna is like we hear and we are trying to develop relationship, but we are not there yet. So that's very advanced stage of bhav, and prem is like now that is the goal. The goal is Krishna prem, and that is the last stage, which is one actually develops a love for Krishna. And this love is not ordinary love. When one develops the deep love for Krishna, then one start and bhav or love for Krishna, then one starts feeling separation for Krishna. And then every moment that soul, that jiva who has attained pure bhav and prema, every moment he cries because he is separated from Krishna and he want to see Krishna. He want to be with Krishna. That attraction to that personality of Krishna and that prema is so intense. This was exhibited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Antya Leela of what is prema. We can see through his personality. And this is one book. There are two books like this. Um, and this is one book by Rupa Goswami, which actually takes one from the stage of faith to the stage of prema. And as you can see, so from Shraddha to Prema in 11 verses, actually to cover from Shraddha to Prema, to be able to cover this in one lifetime is almost impossible. It is so, it is like so difficult to attain Prema in one life. But Bashla Prabhupada, Mercy Prabhupada said it is possible if we are sincere. Um, um, so we will be able to go from verse 1 to verse 6 to verse 7 to verse 8. We may hear them today, I mean, not today, but through this course. But we won't be able to experience what is described in these verses. And that takes decades. Um, now, it's like, see, Rupa Goswami is writing these in a stage of perfection. So Rupa Goswami, who has attained perfection, he can analyze everything. Like, for example, if somebody has attained perfection, then it's very important to hear from him. How did you attain perfection? What were the pitfalls? What helped you? What were your different experiences in the middle and towards the end and in the beginning? Can you describe those? So everything, the whole summary of Rupa Goswami, who is a Nitya Siddha, associate of the Lord, is describing in just 11 instruction. And that's why they are described as very, very powerful instruction. Just to actually practice the first instruction takes lifetimes. Just the first verse, it takes lifetime to practice that. What to speak about as we go up. So this is the potency of these 11 instructions. Okay. Any discussion so far?
The first one is very tough one, Prabhu.
Prabhu, say again.
The first one is very tough one.
That's the beginning stage, Prabhu. Then that gives us the qualification for next. Actually, those who cannot apply first one, they won't be able to apply second one. And those who cannot apply second one, those who cannot apply first and second, they won't be. Those who can apply first and second, only they can apply the third. Those who apply, those who can apply first, second, and third, only they can apply the fourth. So we can understand how tough it is. Okay, so this is we discuss about the introduction, and the first verse basically Rupa Goswami says, then one must control the various urges. There are 6 kind of urges, or vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udara prastha vegam. So these are the vegam means tolerate the urges, tolerate the demands. That's what vegam means. So vacho vegam matlab urge to speak. Vacho vegam. We'll go in detail of these. Then manasa. Manasa means the urge of the mind, the demands of the mind. Very, very difficult. I think it will take lifetimes to actually tolerate the demands of the mind. Manasa. Then krodha vegam, the demand of anger, the urge to become angry. Krodha vegam. So vacho vegam, manasa, krodha vegam. Then jiva vegam, jiva. So these are not the gross senses, like the urge to speak, the mind, the anger. They're not the gross senses, but jiva. In this is so interesting. See, there are 6 senses. No? There is senses of, there is eyes, there is nose, there is ears, sense of touch. Correct. There is tongue. So there are 5 senses. And Krishna says even one of the roaming senses can deviate a person who is sincerely trying to advance. Even one of the roaming senses can deviate. But you see, Rupa Goswami does not describe to tolerate the demands of the eyes and nose and ears and sense of touch and other things. But he says just try to tolerate the urge of tongue. Very, very important, because it is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. One whose tongue is controlled, all the other senses are, one can assume, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says that if somebody's tongue is controlled, means all his other senses are controlled. And one can assume that his tongue is not controlled, then his other senses are also wild. And it is said that the most among the 5 senses, the most difficult to control is the tongue. So we will discuss a lot about the different scriptures and Chaitanya Charitamrita, what it says about the control of the tongue and the importance and the disadvantage of not controlling the tongue. We'll discuss about them as we progress. So this is called Jiva Vegam, and then Udara Prastha Vegam, and then there is the demand of the belly. Belly demand is more and more, and full, some more can go. So demand of the belly, and then the demand of the genitals. Um, Genitals, it is described, they should be used only for the purpose of procreation. Otherwise, they should be like an organ that doesn't exist in one's body. Like that, they should be used. So there are urges of genitals also. So one who can tolerate these six urges and these six vegam, this verse described that that personality is fit to become a spiritual master of the whole world. So imagine the first verse itself gives one an adhikar to become Jagat Guru. And it is said because, like, it is, one is Goswami. Na? Goswami means one who is able to tolerate. Swami of one senses is called Go means senses. So Swami of one senses, Goswami. So one who cannot, so Goswami means basically Guru. And one who cannot tolerate one's own senses, how can he become a Guru? So this is the summary of the first. Okay, these are the basic themes that we discuss in Nectar of Instruction. We will hear about the mind and sense control. We will also hear about how to control the mind and how to control the senses, and disadvantages of not controlling the senses. What should be the attitude of a devotee? How should he deal? Um, what is the purpose of ISKCON? The relationship between guru and disciple, the importance of sadhu sangha, and how to take sadhu sangha, what to do in sadhu sangha and what not to do in sadhu sangha, what are the various offenses one can commit in sadhu sangha. Then there are different kinds of devotees, different levels of devotees, beginner, intermediate, advanced. What are their characteristics? What is their, what are, how, what should be the behavior of devotees? What is the qualification? Then various stages of bhakti and how do we develop and grow? Uh, what are the symptoms of various stages of bhakti? So these are various themes that we will be covering in this book. It's actually, in one way, 11 verses we can read in 5 minutes, and we can read a translation in 5 minutes also. But if we go in depth, then there is so many instructions on how to follow them. So this Bhakti Shastri will be an in-depth study of these scriptures. And I have notes also. We will share these presentations, and the presentations will be given to all the devotees, and they will have all these notes also with them. So Maharaj Parikshit spoke on atonement. So um, um, there is fifth canto. The Srimad Bhagavatam is a conversation between Sukadev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. Um, and Parikshit Maharaj want to understand how the universe works, um, and what are the various planets. Tell me about the higher planets, about the lower planets, about the hellish planets. And then Parikshit Maharaj also inquired about what happens in the hellish planets, what kind of suffering people go through, how many kind of hellish planets are there, and which sin makes one go through which suffering. So tell me the details about this. So fifth canto, at the end of fifth canto, Sukadev Goswami, he describes about all the hellish planets and what sin or what wrong doing leads to what hellish planets and what suffering. So it shook up Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadev Goswami that how can one atone? Because all of us actually have done so many wrong things in our lives. So Parikshit Maharaj became compassionate to everybody who is listening Bhagavatam, and on there were 60,000 sages present. So Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadev Goswami on behalf of all of them, then please tell me the way out. These are so common. Then Sukadev Goswami says one must atone for one's wrongdoings. So Parikshit Maharaj didn't like that question. This is so wonderful. I mean, Guru is speaking, Sukadev Goswami, and he's giving a solution, and Parikshit Maharaj didn't like it. And then Parikshit Maharaj says, atonement is not gonna help. Then Parikshit Maharaj compare. This is the some of the verses spoken by Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj gave an example of an elephant bathing, and he says the elephant he enters the river, he becomes like jet black and brown, shiny, and he comes out and he feels wet, and then he takes the mud from the sandy beach, and he with his soond trunk he sprays sprinkles mud all over the body to dry himself, and then he becomes so nasty. It's like water and mud. Now it's like in Hindi it's called kichar or like a swamp. So Parikshit Maharaj says, what is the use of such a bathing? The purpose of bathing is to become cleansed. And after bathing, if we throw mud all over, then what's it such a bathing is useless. The whole purpose of bathing is defeated. In other words, what where Parikshit Maharaj is going up to is people have this sinful tendencies, these inclinations to do wrong things, to participate in wrong things. And even if they atone, oh, I should not have done that, or they fast, or they perform, they go to temples, or do some do some yajna or some sacrifice, or they do so many, or some self-imposed. I'll go for pilgrimage for a month. So they do wrong things and they do atonement to get rid of those things. And then Parishit Maharaj says, what is the use of atonement? Because after atonement, when they come back, because such sacrifice and such austerities and such fasting and such pilgrimage and such yoga and such meditation, all these things don't purify the heart. So when they come back, because the desire to sin, the desire to perform these unwanted habits are there, the desires are there, even though they atone, after 1 month or 2 months or after some time they will again do the same things. So, what is the use of such atonement? Another example given is people go to church and they confess, my dear father, I performed the sinful acts. So, father says, may thou be forgiven. And they are forgiven because they confess and they beg forgiveness from a holy man for their doings. And then they go back, and because the desire to do wrong things are there, then they perform the same sins again, and then they go next week again and say, my father, let me be forgiven. So what is the use of such going to churches again and again when the heart is not getting cleansed? So Parikshit Maharaj is looking for a permanent solution from Sukadev Goswami, not just what can free me from suffering, from going to hell, but something that can make my heart pure so those tendencies themselves leave from my heart. So that's why he didn't like this answer of Sukadev Goswami of atonement. Then Srila Prabhupada also described that there are three kind. I have notes everywhere, as you can see underneath. I'm just expanding on them. All these notes will be very helpful to remember and for exams also. So Srila Prabhupada describes three kinds of intelligence. Prabhupada says there are people who are very intelligent. Very intelligent people, they hear about what to do and they hear about what not to do. But then they still do what should not be done. Why? Because they don't have that much strength or they don't realize the importance of it. So they don't learn it by hearing, but rather so this is first class intelligence are those like very intelligent people who hear and then who can apply. These are like very advanced people. And also, please note that this intelligence is not material intelligence. Material intelligence is like how I can do mathematical calculation faster, which grade I get in the college, or how many things I can handle. This intelligence is actually spiritual by nature. Can I understand the subject matter? Can I understand? Can I realize it just by hearing the importance of these spiritual instructions? And can am I is my intelligence strong enough that I can say no to my mind and able to follow what the instruction is, or do I give in? So that is the spiritual intelligence. Prabhupada says spiritual intelligence is that I can distinguish, that I understand the spiritual reality and I realize it just by hearing. So that is very tough. So that is so best, most intelligent people, they realize just by hearing and they act on it. Then most of the people don't lie in the first class intelligence, second class intelligence people. So they hear and they are like, yeah, they hear and they know that this is not good for me. And then they're like, yeah, this is not good for me. But then they still do the same thing. But then um, they see somebody who is doing that and how that person is suffering. They see it, how the suffering is coming by not following the instruction. Um, but they don't learn from it. I mean, those who learn from that experience are second class intelligence. I'll give an example. The example is Srila Prabhupada gives an example of a thief. So, first class intelligence, he hears stealing is not good. And then he agrees that stealing is not good and he never steals. Then, second class intelligence, they hear stealing is not good, but then they have a desire to steal. They don't learn from that. Then they see somebody who stole, and then cops came in their house. They arrested him, put the handcuffs on them, put them in their jeep, and they took them. And he was sentenced in a jail for 1 year. So they are then they think then the second class intelligence think, oh, stealing is really bad. I see how this person suffered because he stole. I should not steal. So this is second class intelligence. Third class intelligence people, they hear, but they don't learn from it. Then they see, they don't learn from it also. But rather they think, that's okay. I can steal and I can do it in such a way that I won't be caught. So they steal. And then eventually they are also put behind the jail for 1 year and they realize, oh, that I should not have done that. So there's third class intelligence. And fourth class intelligence is they hear, they see the mal effects of it, they experience the mal effect of it, but still they are not able to apply that instruction. So that is fourth class intelligence. So Yugal Kishore Prabhuji tells me that Shamananda, we are all fourth class intelligence. Most of us in this Kali Yuga are fourth class intelligence. Um, One example that I observed is, for example, um, somebody says like, of course, I'm not saying that we should follow this example, but just hear about it. I should not eat too much sugar because if I eat too much sugar, then I'll get diabetes. Yeah. So first person, okay, I should not eat too much sugar. Anything in moderate amount is good, is okay, because sugar is also a mode of goodness. But too much sugar may not be good. Then second class intelligence, he says, no, no. If um, I think it's okay. I can eat, and those persons maybe somehow they got diabetes, but I won't get it. I'm very fit and healthy. So they eat too much sugar and they get diabetes. No, they observe somebody who have diabetes and they are suffering and so many restrictions now, and they feel like, yeah, this is not good for me. So second class intelligence people, then they control. Like Bhakti Vasudeva Maharaj says, preventive eating. Preventive eating means you eat in a way that you prevent future diseases. uh, so there's second class intelligence, learn from it. Then there's third class intelligence. So third class intelligence is they heard, but they're like, no, no, it's okay, nothing will happen. Then they saw people suffering from diabetes, and some of their legs are amputated, and so much problems, so many restrictions, and they have to take injections or medicines. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's okay. It won't happen to me. And then they get diabetes and they go through so much suffering. And then they were like, yeah, sugar is not good for me. And then the fourth class intelligence is they have diabetes and they are taking injections and they're going through a lot of struggle, but then they still continue eating a lot of sweets. So fourth class intelligence means, actually fourth class intelligence is the mind is very powerful. um, the mind the mind is in control. It's very, very hard to control the mind actually. Yogi Prabhuji was telling me that when the Shamananda, I'm speaking about myself. Shamananda, these all these qualities, fourth class intelligence, myself only. So Prabhuji was mentioning Shamananda, fourth class intelligent people, what they do is when they are diabetes and they are taking injections, however we say that, then they will think, let me eat some sweets and I will take one more injection and I'll be okay. So that is the power of mind. Very hard actually. Every sense. First class intelligent people, um, hardly we find, I mean, pure devotees are first class intelligence people because they are Goswamis. Goswamis means their mind and senses are in their control. How hard it is. So Prabhupada describes about three kinds of intelligence. Then okay, so that's it's around 9:30. Then traditional atonement is when people do something wrong. They practice celibacy, austerity, do some tapa, perform some sacrifice, denounce something for 1 year. I have done this, I won't eat this thing for 1 year, or I won't do this or that, whatever. I won't go for sports for 1 year because they like self punishment, atonement. These are traditional method. Um, um, but then when Parikshit Maharaj he rejected this method of atonement. There is maybe just couple of more minutes. There is very nice pastime of Ajamil also. Ajamil performed many sinful acts. Then Yamdutas came and Vishnu Dutas came because he called his son Narayan. Now there is a conversation between Yamdutas and Vishnu Dutas. And Vishnu Dutas said he is pure because he chanted Narayan. So Yamdutas don't believe in the power of the holy name. So they said, how is it possible? Just by chanting name of Narayan, he is purified. Ah, I can't believe this. Then Yamduta said, my dear sir, I don't know who you are. Maybe you are demigods or I don't know who you are. But he performed so many sinful acts and he did not perform any atonement. He did not perform any tapa, any yoga. He kept on sinning throughout his life. Throughout his life, he sinned. And then he did not do any atonement. And then now you are telling he chanted name of Narayan and without any atonement, he is free from everything. All the wrongs he has done. Ah, so this was like, but Yamdutas are powerless in front of Vishnudutas are very powerful. So they were frustrated, Yamdutas, could not believe. And but Vishnudutas asked Yamdutas, tell us about religious principles. And they said the religious principle is to surrender to Narayan. He is the cause of all causes. He is the source of everything. And they are like, we agree Narayan is God, but we don't agree that one name of Narayan can do that without any atonement. That thing, they agree in, Yamdutas are agreeing in Narayan, religious principles, but they're not agreeing that one name of Narayan, casually calling out to the sun, unknowingly taking name of Narayan, can have that potency that one can sin throughout one's life and no need of atonement and he'll be freed. That potency of holy name, they are not, that glory of holy name, they're not willing to accept. Then when they went to Yamaraj, then Yamaraj scolded them, fools. Yamaraj actually took a humble position and begged forgiveness from Narayan. He bowed down on his knees and he said, please forgive me, I have given trouble to your devotee, your devotee who actually called out his son Narayan, but because he somehow chanted unknowingly the name of Narayan, he's now your devotee. And he has to go through the suffering of seeing the horrible faces of Yamdutas. I'm so ashamed. Yamaraj is telling on his knees, he's praying to Narayan. I'm so ashamed that your devotee has to see the horrible features of my associates or my servants, my messengers. And then he told them, never do this such kind of thing again. Never go near to those who chant the holy name or who wear holds the neck, the tulsi beads on their neck. Never approach them. Don't show your faces to them. Actually, their Bhagavatam describes, sixth canto Bhagavatam describes, these Yamdutas are very horrible looking, very ghastly looking. That's why it is said that people at the time of death, when they see They're full of fear and very horrible. So uh, then Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadev Goswami, so I don't believe in atonement because the desire to sin is not there. But how can I get rid of the sin? Not only the reaction for the wrong things I have done, but also the desire for the wrong things that I have done. Then Sukadev Goswami gives the example of Ajamil. That's where sixth canto begin with. Fifth canto ends with hellish planets. Sixth canto begin with Ajamil pastime. And there it is described how Ajamil chanted the name of Narayan, Narayan, Narayan later on. And then he had such intense desire to do wrong things, Ajamil. But by continuously chanting name of Narayan, the propensity left him. He has no desire to do those things again. So then Parikshit was very satisfied. Ah, I got it. It is the name of the Lord. Bhagavatam is described as the glorification of the name of the Lord. So Pancharatrika Vidhi, it describes what to do, how to practice bhakti, and how not to practice bhakti. And it is not through atonement. Atonement is the secondary method for becoming purified, and that purification is temporary. But bhakti or devotional service of the holy name is a permanent method, and that purification is permanent. That's how we begin with the introduction. Okay. So are there any discussion now? Otherwise, that's all we have in our today's discussion.
So I should be practicing before next class the first verse.
So see, I can tell about myself. I'm practicing, I'm speaking, but I fail to practice. Um, but all actually Krishna knows that we are helpless with our mind and senses. But as long as we are sincere, Prabhuji, that's the only thing Krishna is looking. We are trying our best. Um, um, Krishna is very merciful also. We can hear and we try our best. But as much as possible, um, we, I mean, there are some things that we are trying, like eating nice prasad. So that is also Prabhupada at one point of time. There's also the demand of the mind and sense. It will purify. But then at some point, Prabhupada said we should work on that also. And then the more and more subtle, like Raghunath Das Goswami principles were not just four regulative principles. Those were the beginning. And then they were subtle and subtle and subtle. And the amount of mind and sense control is required. Like I was hearing today, I was reading a book by about the life of Gaur Govind Maharaj. And Gaur Govind Maharaj would eat once a day, and he would only eat dalma, which is dal with some vegetables, small quantity, once a day between 1 and 2. And some days, if he is busy in some preaching services between 1 and 2, and he skip that window, then the devotees asked Maharaj, would you like to take now? Maharaj said, no, I missed the window. Then dinner, Maharaj will, no, it's too late. I won't eat now. The next day, breakfast, everybody thought Maharaj will take breakfast, and Maharaj said, no, uh, I'll take in the noon, same time. So then Maharaj went on fasting for 48 hours. And I was thinking, this is Goswami. Actually. How, I mean, uh, this is one stage of Goswami. Uh, where we are and what our desires are and where we lie and what the lifestyle these Goswamis have said what is actually Vegam, all this Vegam we hear from the life of these acharyas, and it seems like rocket high, Prabhu. Seems like, okay, I can't even approach that. But yes, we practice at one step at a time, one step at a time. But these Vegam, Prabhuji, um, I we are beginners, Prabhu.
Yeah, I think Even if we can practice 5% of what is said, the life will become much more beautiful.
Yeah, bro. If we practice 5% in this life, successful, Prabhu. Yugal Kishore Prabhu told me, Shamananda, don't worry about prema. Try to attain Nishtha in this life. If we attain Nishtha in this life, life is successful. So, we are starting from one stage, na? And their starting point itself is pure devotional service. So, the example they set, but we can hear, we can glorify, and we can just try to understand and practice at our level, and just try to be sincere in our devotional services.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Vinay Prabhu. Okay. Any other questions, discussions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Very grateful, Prabhuji. Very excited that we are starting the Shastri course. So, Prabhuji,
This
my
is your
query,
fifth, sixth time doing Bhakti Shastri. Again and again and again and again. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, my query is like these. Our Updesha Amrit is based on the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Rupa Goswami. So
Yes.
these instructions or these discussion between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Rupa Goswami, is it somewhere in part of a Chaitanya Charitamrita, or is it a personal instruction to Rupa Goswami which he uh, presented in Updesha Amrit?
Yes. Not, yeah, Prabhu. Thank you. Many are part of Chaitanya Charitamrita, but not all. And when you actually read Rupa Shiksha and Sanatana Shiksha from Madhya Leela, then you will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructing these things, all these things, in different pieces and different places to Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. And whatever they assimilated from Lord Chaitanya, then they wrote, okay, here are the 11 instructions. Here are this. But they're all based on the teachings. Now, as it is, these verses don't appear, but we will see Chaitanya Charitamrita is Bengali, na? And these books are in Sanskrit. But you will see, we will discuss some of the verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita next week, corroborating some of these Vegam and what Mahaprabhu speaks about them. And you will see direct correlation between what Mahaprabhu is telling and Rupa Goswami is presenting about, please try to follow these instructions for your own progress.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Anantari Prabhu. Okay. So we'll end now. I have a question. Do you prefer 8:30 or do you prefer 8? Some devotees said, Prabhu, 8:30, then it goes 9:30, becomes late. Some devotees also mentioned 8 is little early because they have some prior engagements to do at 8:30. So I thought I'll ask the group of devotees and see what do you prefer? Does anyone have some specific preference? I hear one devotee mentioning 8:30.
8:30 is like it works for us because we need to pick the kids from swim meets or other activities.
Yeah, I see. Most of devotees are requesting for 8:30. Oh, actually, nobody is saying about 8. All right, I got the point. Thank you, Prabhuji's Matajis. If I spoke anything wrong, please forgive me as a humble servant. The beginner, as a beginner myself. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada. Dandavat pranams, Prabhuji Matajis. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna
Dhamma
Prabhuji.
pranam. Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you again allowed to me to hear for nectar for your words again and again, Prabhu. How many times you give, Prabhu, I am always ready. I am very, very ready, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanvat pranam.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.